Adam and his party ventured into the cavern depths. Deeper and deeper they delved. Tensions ran high as they entered a chamber filled with flames. Sitting at the back was their prey. It raised its head at the approaching adventurers. Malice filled its gaze, which threatened to rob them of their very strength. Yet the ranger was the first to strike with a single arrow. Welcome to Mythical Phylogeny Adventures. I'm your guide, Jason. Today, we meet a rather esteemed demon, Marchosias. Let's dig into the history of this wicked wolf. Marchosias, the Marquis of Hell, with 30 legions of demons under his command. With a title like that, you would think that this would be an awe-inspiring demon, would you not? He is the 35th of the 72 demons written about in the Ars Goetia, the first of 5 books in the Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Megaton Clavicula Salomonis, a tome of mysticism, sorcery, and magic from the mid-17th century, collecting knowledge from earlier ages. He is described as a wolf with the wings of a griffin and a long serpent-like tail. Flames spew from his mouth. Everything describes it as a powerful combatant. Once, he was in the angelic order of dominions. He was bound by the great King Solomon, and, at his request, could take a human form. After 1200 years, he was supposed to return to heaven, the 7th throne. He only spoke the truth and was loyal to King Solomon. The same description was given in the Pseudo-Monarchia Demonium of 1577, except Marchosias is said to be deceived in the hope of redemption. Oh, and this one disagrees and claims that Marchosias is a she-wolf, while other texts specifically say male. So, some disagree on the gender. Now, how to make a wolf fly. The Eurasian wolf is about 86 pounds or 39 kilograms. That is actually pretty small. However, the average Pteranodon comes in at 35 kilograms or 77 pounds, and on average, their wings were estimated to be 18 feet, 5.6 meters for males, and 12 feet, 3.8 meters on females. So that gives us a good estimate. Of course, if it has a larger body, it would need larger wings. But we can't go and slap a pair of wings onto a wolf to make it fly. We'll need the muscles to provide strength, and those need attachment points. Most muscles for wings connect to the shoulder assembly, the back, and the chest. Now, those bones are already taken up by the muscles for the frontal legs. So, we have a couple of options. First up, we can enlarge the bones to provide for the attachment. That would increase the size and weight. Now, we could also make the muscles smaller. Their strength is derived from their total volume. 3 categories: length, thickness, and width. If we make them thinner and more narrow, they would lose much of their strength, and I don't like this one. Or we could duplicate the shoulder girdle along the lower ribs. This is probably the easiest overall, yet it does create issues with the nerves. Each nerve covers an area called a dermatome for skin and myotome for muscle coordination. To effectively complete the developmental process, it would mean increasing the number of vertebrae. It would also elongate the body a little bit. Now, we need to go over the wing shape. There are 5 general wing shapes. Active soaring, or long and thin like an albatross. Great for long distances, but bad for mobility. It doesn't sound like a good fit here. Passive soaring wings or broad, but not quite as long, and are used by eagles. Good for long distances over land with fair mobility. They prefer to use rising thermal updrafts to take to the sky. Hovering wings are small compared to the body, and do a figure-8 wing beat. Hummingbirds use them, and wouldn't serve our demon very well. Elliptical wings are used by songbirds, and are more of a round shape. These require much more flapping, but the highest maneuverability, and are found on sparrows and the like. High-speed wings are found on ducks and falcons. These are designed for longer flights at high speed. Now, Marchosias is said to have wings like a griffin. Most griffins are said to be part eagle and have passive soaring wings. And there is another reason I like Marchosias having them. Remember, he can spew fire. And what are thermal updrafts? Rising hot air. It would be so easy for him to generate the heat to help him soar. But how does he breathe fire? And there are a few options. We need a flammable substance that the body can produce. Well, there are plenty of videos of people lighting their farts on fire, so that's a good place to start. There are two compounds which are combustible: hydrogen and methane. Mix with a little oxygen and you got the perfect setup for a fire, minus an ignition source. It could be from its own body heat, or using its own bioelectricity to generate the spark. This would require a detailed anatomical analysis to uncover which. Regardless, we would have to rework some of the waste management to move the methane and hydrogen out of the digestive system and into the respiratory tract. Now, flight is energetically very demanding, and there are two dominant systems for lungs. Birds have a unilateral respiratory tract, which prevents mixing of new and old air, while animals like bats have massively enlarged lungs. Now, due to adding a tract that brings the flammable gases, I would prefer the unilateral lung system. It would prevent poisoning itself and better enable flight. Of course, this is a fallen angel and definitely possesses magic, so it could all be pointless. But why would one account say that it is female, while the others male? Well, it could easily be a mistake or a mistranslation. But it is known to change forms, so it could just as easily be a trick. Now, I can't attest if our fellow here was able to find redemption and return to heaven. The answer could reveal if he is blindly following, wise, or stubborn. Now, Marchosias is said to command legions of demons, so he has to be somewhat capable. In addition, every source does refer to him as a skilled fighter. The first issue is this is an aerial fighter. That means you'll want range attacks. A bow and arrow is a good starting point. But this is a demon, a fallen angel. There is a good chance that holy magic would have a profound influence on it. But you'll need cover. He can breathe fire on you. Have a fire resistance potion or enchantments ready. Also have water to extinguish it quickly so it doesn't spread. Ice and wind magic may help protect you. Now, its fire may struggle to reach you if it goes up high enough. Yet, that range is hard to discern. You'll need to be careful with armor. Metal will sear you if it gets caught in the flames. But without armor, those same flames would destroy your flesh. It will be better to just avoid the attacks honestly. If you can clip its wings and force it on the ground, it would be easier. Again, holy weapons will be your best option. You'll want to avoid the front end, flames and fangs. Not something you want to get caught in. The sides will be hard to get in close due to the size of the wings, but if it is on the ground, those will probably be damaged. Attacks from below, above, or behind are your best options, depending on your abilities. He does have a long tail, which can be used as a whip, but little chance of serious injuries, at least compared to the other end. Solomon was able to bind this demon using a seal. If you are able to duplicate the feat, you would win instantly. Mind you, he was known for his intelligence and cunning. I doubt it was a simple task. And he is a commander. He has troops. Those could easily get dragged into the fight. Rather than one airborne foe, you've got many to contend with. It is also possible that our demon has other abilities which aren't mentioned. Overall, this isn't going to be an easy fight. He can attack from above, out of your reach, but not his, similar to a dragon. Even up close, he's got strong jaws which can break bones, and wings which could stun you. This won't be a simple fight, and I am going with an 8 of 10 for difficulty. Make sure you know what you are getting in for. Solomon bound Marchosias, and he was loyal. Without the seal, that may be a different story. Is it worth it to try and bind him? Oh, definitely. This is a powerful individual. A fallen angel and demon. That means a lot of knowledge, not to forget his fighting powers and legions of demons. That is a lot of might. Just be careful, even if Marchosias is bound to you. That doesn't mean his troops will show you the same loyalty. Be warned, if you do slay him, you'll get his hide, which is probably fire resistant and very tough. The feathers from the wings can be used in decorations, and probably you can also use them in potions. But he's definitely worth more alive than slain, doubly so if he can return to heaven. The demon sprang forth, ignoring the ranger's attack. Flames shot out as Adam mirrored. His spell work only slowed the attack, nothing more. But Clara was already on the ground, chanting and reciting scriptures. Words flowed from her mouth as the demon faltered. The ranger flanked the devil and swung his sword, breaking its focus. Adam's might surged forth between the cleric's chants and the wizard's spells. The ranger took the initiative to deal a final blow. His blade pierced the demon as it spewed flames into his face. Both of them fell at once. Adam and Clara looked on in shock as the realization of what just happened set in. Marchosias is an odd demon to be sure, one that still clings to the hope of redemption after all these years, and one to be careful of if things go sour. Thank you for watching, adventurers. I'm going to change up the schedule to Friday for a bit, but please return next time for the Demiurge. Until then, I'll see you on the roads.